So, I usually read the articles after midnight, so it's really calm and quiet and might be cozy. But today I tried to wake up early, so now it's 10 in the morning. So even there's the construction outside, so it could be not that peaceful, but anyway, it could be a new challenge, right? So today I'm going to read from chapter 5. Pinocchio is hungry and looks for an egg to cook himself an omelette, but to his surprise, the omelette flies out the window. Wow. I know Pinocchio, but I haven't thought about this kind of detailed scenes. So it's really interesting, yeah. If the cricket's death scared Pinocchio at all, it was only for a very few moments. For as night came on, a queer, empty feeling at the pit of his stomach reminded the marionette that... Sorry, it's really noisy outside. Wait, I'm gonna close the window. Okay, let's dive in. Stomach reminded the marionette that he had eaten nothing as yet. A boy's appetite grows very fast, and in a few moments the queer, empty feeling had become hunger, and the hunger grew bigger and bigger, until soon he was as ravenous as a bear. Poor Pinocchio ran to the fireplace where the pot was boiling and stretched out his hand to take the cover off. But to his amazement, the pot was only painted. Think how he felt. His long nose became at least 2 inches longer. He ran about the room, dug in all the boxes and drawers, and even looked under the bed in search of a piece of bread, hard though it might be, or a cookie, or perhaps a bit of fish. A bone left by a dog would have tasted good to him, but he found nothing. And meanwhile, his hunger grew and grew. The only relief poor Pinocchio had was to yawn. And he certainly did yawn, such a big yawn that his mouth stretched out to the tips of his ears. Soon he became dizzy and faint. He wept and wailed to himself. The talking cricket was right. It was wrong of me to disobey father and to run away from home. If he were here now, I wouldn't be so hungry. Oh, how horrible it is to be hungry. Suddenly he saw, among the sweepings in a corner, something round and white that looked very much like a hen's egg. In a jiffy, he pondered upon it. It was an egg. The marionette's joy knew no bounds. It is impossible to describe it. You must picture it to yourself. Certain that he was dreaming, he turned the egg over and over in his hands, fondled it, kissed it, and talked to it. And now, how should I cook you? Should I make an omelette? No, it's better to fry you in a pan. Or should I drink you? No, the best way is to fry you in the pan. You will taste better. Yeah, everything is really different to what I've thought before. Anyway, no sooner said than done. He placed a little pan over a foot warmer full of hot coals. In a pan, instead of oil or butter, he poured a little water, As soon as the water started to boil, tag. He broke the eggshell, but in place of the white and the yolk of the egg, a little yellow chip, fluffy and gay and smiling, escaped from it. Bowing politely to Pinocchio, he said to him, "Many, many thanks indeed, Mr. Pinocchio. You having saved me the trouble of breaking my shell. Goodbye and good luck to you, and remember me to the family." With this word, he spread out his wings, and darting to the open window, he flew away into space till he was out of sight. The poor marionette stood as if turned to stone, with wide eyes, open mouth, and the empty halves of the eggshell in his hands. When he came to himself, he began to cry and shriek at the top of his lungs, stamping his feet on the ground and wailing all the while. The talking cricket was right. If I had not run away from home, and if father were here now, I should not be dying of hunger. Oh, how horrible it is to be hungry. And as his stomach kept grumbling more than ever, and he had nothing to quiet it with, he thought of going out for a walk to the nearby village, in the hope of finding some charitable person who might give him a bit of bread. So let's dive into chapter 6. Pinocchio falls asleep with his feet on a foot warmer and awakens the next day with his feet burned off. Pinocchio hated the dark street, but he was so hungry that in spite of it, he ran out of the house. The night was pitch black. It thundered, and bright flashes of lightning now and again shot across the sky, turning it into a sea of fire. An angry wind blew, cold, and raised dense clouds of dust, while the trees shook and moaned in a weird way. Pinocchio was greatly afraid of thunder and lightning, but the hunger he felt was far greater than his fear. In a dozen leaps and bound, he came to the village, tried out, puffing like a whale, and with tongue hanging. The whole village was dark and deserted. The stores were closed, the doors, the windows. In the street, not even a dog could be seen. It seemed the village of the dead. Pinocchio, in desperation, ran up to a doorway, threw himself upon the bell, and pulled it widely, saying to himself, "Someone will surely answer that." He was right. An old man in a nightcap opened the window and looked out. He called down angrily, "What do you want at this hour of night? Will you be good enough to give me a bit of bread? I am hungry." "Wait a minute, and I'll come right back," answered the old fellow, thinking he had to deal with one of those boys who love to roam around at night, ringing people's bells while they are peacefully asleep. After a minute or two, the same voice cried, "Get under the window and hold out your hat." Pinocchio had no hat, but he managed to get under the window just in time to feel a shower of ice. Cold water poured down on his poor wooden head, his shoulders, and over his whole body. He returned home as wet as a rag, and tried out from weariness and hunger. As he no longer had any strength left with which to stand, he sat down on a little stool and pulled his 2 feet on the stove to dry them. There he fell asleep, and while he slept, his wooden feet began to burn. Slowly, very slowly, they blackened and turned to ashes. Pinocchio snored away happily as if his feet were not his own. At dawn he opened his eyes, just as a loud knocking sounded at the door. "Who is it?" he called, yawning and rubbing his eyes. "It is I," answered a voice. It was the voice of Geppetto. Wow. So today I'm going to read until here, but I think from chapter 7, like Geppetto returns home and gives his own breakfast to the marionette. I think from chapter 7 it will be more interesting because like 5 and 6 was a bit weird. I mean, not weird, but and also my voice is not that calm as before. But anyway, I think just like uploading yourself is really worth it. So thank you for today and have a nice weekend, guys.